My name is Rita. I was Rita Brown, born in Zimbabwe, in Somabula. I came to England and I got married. I'm Ritah Outhwaite now. I was born in 20th of August 1947. I was born in Somabula. It's outskirts of Gwelo. It used to be, my mum was a board mother in this big school where they had boys. The boys from this country, they went up there to go learn farming, husbandry, and they were even doing the piloting. After the war, there was a great depression after the World War. So the British decided to send their young boys to go learn because things were just flat here. So they came to Rhodesia, to this place called Somabolo. It was a big school, a European school. So Mum was the mother there, looking after the boys, seeing that they've eaten. They get up early in the morning, they breakfast, they have their wash and everything, and go to school, go different things, to the fields, they're doing cows, what is it called, husbandry or whatever, and they were doing the piloting. With that piloting, that's the ground, it's called Lalapansi, because it's just flat. That's where the planes used to come and load and offload for the war and come back this side. I lived with my mom. We're living there at the school in Somabula. Never saw my father really. My mom was from Cape. My mom went to Zimbabwe when he was young, but he came going back to South Africa. He had us the children, but I was the last one. I was born where? In Somabula in Zimbabwe. We were brought up nicely. We didn't, whether we're still in the dark or what, I don't know how to put it. But we grew up nicely in that school. And the English guys, they were all English and Afrikaners. They took us as sisters, our kids. They used to, like weekends, they used to go play cowboy. So we enjoyed that. We did, yeah. They brought us, my mom brought us hard though. She worked and she told us, and she was a Christian, staunch Christian, and she taught us to respect and learn, know God. So we grew up that way. She taught us how to be good people in the world. When Mommy and them came to Zimbabwe, the Afrikaners say to Mommy, we're going to open, who wants to come? Because my mom was right at the Cape Town, right at the edge. There were farms where they used to have orchards. They were peeling the fruit, tilling, apples, peaches and all that. And they came to these factories. They said, we would like to go to Rhodesia. We're going to open missionaries and we're going to open hospitals, schools, and we want to build a railway line from Cape to Cairo. which I did. I did. So Mom went there as a missionary, but it didn't go with Moffat and them. It just went with these Afrikaners, and they started pegging. Opened the school there, they pegging, until they went down to Gwelo, the farms. They were rich, they had everything, pigs, cows, everything. But Mommy stationed in Somabola because she looked after that school. It was nice, though. We grew up, we didn't know what is what until we got to a certain age to see there's a difference in it. What could I say? The difference we saw, we didn't know. It's when we started working. We went to school, all right. We went to school. Went to a Catholic school in Bushtik and went to Zimbabwe, all that. And then went to SDA. That's when we grew up, when we started working, getting paid. We saw the difference. The difference. But we worked, we didn't put down the tools and say we don't want to work because there's this difference. We worked. My dad, we never saw our dad, but my mom expected more because she worked hard with us to bring us up. She fought for us to go to school, get education, because she was also not getting plenty money, don't forget. And I think my mom thought that I would be more. I was the last born in the family. She was expecting to be more, or whether bright or get top jobs, but there was no chance. The chance was there, but it wasn't that much. She expected more. But we did look after. I did look after until, even when I came to this country, I got married to Eric. I did look after her, sending money. It was beautiful when we came here. The pound, this British pound, was $10 in Zimbabwe. So can you just imagine? I had 2 sisters. They're all gone now. And 2 brothers. And this one brother was a twin with 1 girl. But 1 brother is alive. We're just 2 of us now alive. All others are gone. When I was in Zimbabwe, I was auxiliary at Inguchini Hospital. We used to go for our training at the Central or in Pilo. We had the matrons and the staff nurses. Mainly those were from Joburg. It was the Tiger Kloof group. They were training us. But we didn't manage to get through to say we want to be staff nurses or matrons as well. So things just went. We had whites from here, and we had South Africans. Yeah, they had the senior position. We were just auxiliaries, in the flame. Yeah, they were mostly the blacks. It's a pity. It's a pity I can't put it away. You see, they in Zimbabwe those years, there was coloureds. There were whites, colors, and blacks. So there was a favorism there. Do you get me? There was a favorism that our wage, we call coloreds, was a little bit better. And the black people, without, they said we colored because we had brown daddies from South Africa. I don't know where about. It was, I don't know about it. But we worked. They schemed us. They didn't favor us to say, come on, training, straight. They enjoyed what we're doing, to be in the flame there. And they were doing the paperwork. The paperwork. It was the only mental hospital in Zimbabwe. There was a big difference because Ngucheni wasn't an easy hospital. The patients were difficult. They were dangerous. They were murderers. People were sick. We say now they were sick. Some people were disturbed. Some people were there because they were in the war. We had quite a lot of white British people and Afrikaners. Through the war, they went and were looking after them. In Pilo and the General Hospital, it was a hospital for sick people, not mental people. But it was hard. It wasn't a joke. If I think of it, I just wonder how we survived to work for so many years. I worked at Ngucheni, how many? 16 years? We used to start at Ngucheni, we used to start at 6 o'clock, finish at 2:15. And the night staff used to come, we do the handover for 7, and we go home. But 6 o'clock we have to be like our next shift. The shifts were a bit similar to here. Eric, that's my husband, Ritah Outhwaite, he came to Zimbabwe on a contract. That's when Eric and them came, the big doctors were leaving now, the whites. We're going to South Africa. We didn't have doctors. We didn't have big nurses like to help us, ward managers or what. So Eric came on a contract. He was working at Saxondale, at Mapley. He got this job when he was working at Mapley Hospital. So he came on a contract in Rhodesia for 3 years. And then we met. Oh, we met. Well, we met at the hospital, but he was working in St. Luke's 1. I was in St. Luke's 2. So he used to come if we got no charge nurse to give the patients, those who were on special injections from St. Luke's 1. And then our charge nurse, Mr. Parker, said, oh, I'm going to have a Christmas evening party. Are you coming, Ree? I said, oh, well, I don't know what I'm working. He said, oh, come. So I finished. I was doing an afternoon shift. Then when I finished, I went to Mr. Parker's house. And I saw Eric. Eric said, hello, you remember me? I said, isn't this a nurse in St. Luke's 1? He said, yeah. So he introduced himself, and we said we had barbecue, what we used to call it braai face. And we had that and had a few drinks, and then next day we had to go to work. And then the next day when I went to work, I found a letter on the notice board, Rita Brown. I said, you could write me a letter. So I took it, I put it in my pocket, I went, did my work. It was in the morning. So I had to read that letter when I got home. It's Ritah Outhwaite. Do you mind me taking you for dinner? I said, oh. So he says, do you eat Chinese? So when I went to work, I said, oh, I saw your letter. You said, do you want to take me for dinner? Me, I just said it's friendly dinner and what? He says, I'll take you for dinner. What do you like Chinese food? I said, I've never had it really to say I'm enjoying it. He said, you go have a taste. So we went to the Chinese restaurant, the big one in Bulawayo. I enjoyed it. And then we started. And he started writing letters to me. We're just like school kids. So we're just working, enjoying, getting that pay. We had nice doctors. We had nice doctors, white doctors from South Africa and from British, yeah. Maybe that's why we stayed all those years, because I don't want to be wrong, to be right. What must I say? People back home, they didn't know how to handle a big crowd, like big working crowd. You get what I mean? But the whites did manage, and the whites did learn the Zimbabwean people. What we did get education from them. It was nice. Yeah, we didn't go out like dancing clubs or whatever, no. We used to go have, like when they stuff Christmas, Easter, Rose and Founders, the hospitals used to organize some nice big dances and food. I went to watch King Kong. And I sat there in the cinema. I ate chocolate and I ate popcorn in it. Was it popcorn? And I drank water. When I got home, I was very poorly. Yeah, we used to have some activities, hospital activities. We didn't go much in. It's when the freedom fighters were starting now, isn't it? Were starting coming in. We couldn't go anywhere. We used to take the kids, go for picnics and by the dams, in Sima Dam, Matopos and all that. Mzingwane Dam for fishing, but we had to be very careful. Oh, we have to be very careful. Our freedom was limited. The boys just wanted the country, which everybody's entitled to that. Oh, they hated whites. The whites were okay, like in town, but you couldn't go out in the shoot straight away. The relationship with my family, it was good. Yeah, I had my sister. She lived in number 6 in Pelandaba. You know, you heard about Pelandaba Soto, in Pelandaba there. So we used to like, she used to say, come down, we've killed a goat, or we're having a barbecue. And we go there. But we had to leave before it gets dark. Because they say, careful, be careful. Even Joshua Nkomo, You remember Joshua Nkomo? Yeah. The leader of ZAPU. He was like this with my brother-in-law, Findo. So when he used to pass, he was living like, his house was like that side, innit? So when he sees our car, we had a Citroen, those old Citroen, like, he used to come and say, Dolly, you still here? I said, yeah. He said, go now. It's going to be hard, go now. That was Joshua Nkomo. He said, go while it's still light. So we used to come out with Eric. Auntie Mina's husband was arrested, went to Gonagutsingwa, whether you heard about that thing, restriction, out of town, right in the bush. And then we had to look after my sister. The husband was in prison for, is it 24 years? With Joshua Nkomo, with President Banana. You heard about President Banana? When in ForFourth, when Findo went to detention, they were just trying to bring them in nearby, away from the bush. And Eric used to buy them Christmas parcels. What is it called? Christmas what? Hampers. And he used to buy Christmas pudding, Christmas cake, that was my husband, and custard and powdered milk. So when I took it to my sister's husband, he opens it. He said, now what are these little cakes for? I said, that cake is Christmas cake. To have a Christmas cake in the morning with your cheese. And this one is Christmas pudding. You make milk. This is powdered milk. Make milk and make custard and pour on top. I said, So President Banana said, write down, Mr. Findo, write down the recipe, It was nice. So at the end, they were brought nearby in Wawa. That's where I managed to go visit them in Wawa prison. There should be people who knew about Wawa, even they here, Zimbabweans. Eric came back. I'd left the hospital. I joined social services. And Eric came back. He said, things are getting a bit tough. It was tough. You remember that it was tough. It was tough. He said, no. I better get out. He was born in Manchester. He went to Shelford. No, first he went to Derby, Hartington. And from Hartington he came to Shelford. Now he was doing his agriculture. When he was doing that agriculture, I thought, I know, let me do nursing. So he did his nursing. And that's how he ended up coming to Zimbabwe. When it was independent, everybody was playing drums. Everybody was happy. They were killed some cows in, is it White City, Barberfields? They went to those grounds. They were having like a nice time. We used to go to some of the rallies. Well, my husband used to say to the staff, remember there was Bottomley Dave, they went to Zimbabwe to have a talk and talks and talks. And then my husband used to say, when they go to work, like Monday, they used to say to him, did you enjoy, did you listen to the TV, did you listen to the radio, listening what our talks about? But my husband says, you see, you people, you don't understand. It's written on the forehead now to say, give people their country. Eric said, come and see my country and meet my people. So I came, and we just decided one evening. I was watching snooker. It was Steve, that's Steve, the tall guy who used to be good in snooker. I was interested. He was sitting here and said, so should we get married then, Ritah? I said, yeah, well, let's get married. Let's get married. So the snooker got finished. And then he said, should we go put our bells up then tomorrow? We go to the Home Office in London to see if I can marry you. We don't want to make things out of books. So I said, okay. So we got up the next morning, took the train to London. When we got to London, they say, Croydon. Went to Croydon. That's where the offices were. Croydon said, of course you can get married. So Croydon, they gave us a letter to go hand over here in Nottingham. I came 84. 85. I remember it was a bank holiday when we landed up. And that big plane, what was that big plane? It was the last trip. Was it 7? What? It was big. It was massive, man. That was the last trip. So we landed up in the morning. There were no buses. It was bank holiday. We had to go hire a car. It was Saxondale, innit? Saxondale. I went to Saxondale. I was living in a hospital house. And the man was there, like a manager, was nasty. He kept on saying, when are you moving? When are you moving? I said, where can I go? Where can I go? I've got 2 kids. They're schooling all right here. When are you moving? We're selling this place. That's when they started selling the NHS, like all the big hospitals. So we had to move. It was nice. People were nice. They loved my kids. Christmases, we used to go to the club, innit? Yeah, social club. Have Christmas dinners. We all just used to donate a bit, take there. It was nice. People were nice too. They all, you see, when my kids came from Zimbabwe, if you older, they call you auntie. If you're a man, they call you uncle. Hello, uncle. Hello, auntie. You know, that's how you call me, auntie. All our things from the first house, we couldn't go get from the front shops or Russell's or what. It was from Oxfam, second hands. We had, he grew up at Shelford, and there was Auntie Clara. Oh, she was very nice. She was learning the girls, Vinnie and this other girl. She's late, Iris. Baking and weekends we used to go there. I baked, come for dinner. Oh, nice. His parents died years ago. The father was torpedoed in the boat during the war. and the mother was bombed there in Manchester in her house. Eric had 2 kids, and we just became close friends with the ex-wife. It was funny, yeah. They used to come to Saxondale for weekends, dinner, innit? And then we used to go to their house for Christmas dinner. And the children had 2 sons, Jeff and Trevor. They were just, I ring them now and again. It was all right when we came here, when we arrived. I didn't go for nursing training, but they took us auxiliaries, and we had that MVQ in it. We had the MVQ. And I was going up and down. That's when they started using us, really. They did use us, we foreigners. We were running, going to big hospitals, having some training the whole day. Even there by the city, there was a school of nursing assistants. But how far did we go? The next thing, school of nursing assistant. The next thing, NVQs. And we're not young to say we want to go to college, to universities. And now that these university young ones came now, God, it was, what do you call it? A clip and a pan. A city hospital. We used to even go to Mapley. We had some training days in Mapley. And I even used to go with my doctor, Dr. Waite, to London, big hospital, the mental hospital in London. They liked me. Why didn't they say, come on? Times were a bit still hard, innit? Times were still a bit hard. But I thank what I did. I thank what I did. And the other thing which made me really to work and stop worrying, when we came, HIV was starting in Zimbabwe. And then I had to help them. Medicines, food, everything. The whole family. My sister's kids, So Eric said, no, to be safe, Ritah, let's do it this way. There's plenty overtime they want you here. Your straightforward pay, put it away in the bank. So we're starting to build a home, our home here in England. We're not going to go anywhere now. And this overtime money, you can do what you like, send it to your relatives. I think that was fair, innit? I think it was fair. And I did that. That's how they survive. The little bit relatives I've got there. Because a pound was $10. Can you imagine? A pound was $10. It was great. At the end, the patients in Zimbabwe in mental hospital, they weren't looked after properly. Because now, the British people, don't forget that we're British protectorate. We're under British Zimbabwe. Now, the standards were dropping. When I came here, I found the difference. Patients were looked very well. They were dressed up. It could be winter, but they had warm clothes. They had warm beds, blankets, clean. We enjoyed working here when we came. We enjoyed. look forward going to work. We knew exactly, because sometimes the matron will come at 5 and said, who would like to do few hours tonight because no nurse so is not here. Hardly. So my kids were grown up already. And I'd offer. They said, see that they're all in bed. They'll put them in bed. Day staff will put some in bed. And then you remained with the better ones. You walk them to bed. Just get up now and again, help the staff nurse, help the staff nurse. You can sleep on the couch. It never used to bother us. Never. It was, to be honest with you, children, a nurse, when you say you want to do nursing, don't think of money. It should be in your heart. It should be in your heart. Because when you work there, you think, money. A patient there wants water, and then he said, my time is up, I'm going. No, we never used to do that. Bring the water, give him water to drink. He said, Nanai, I'm going, I'll see you in the morning, somebody's coming. Nowadays, I have to be here 2 hours, and you have to pay him that money. 2 hours. 2 hours doing what? It was good working for NHS, because we had our holidays. And if you've got any grievance things, you go to the matron and you explain. We're treated the same. We're treated the same. There was no to say, it's white, it's black, it's what? If I'm an auxiliary, I'll get the same wage with my friend. I had 3 white friends. They were grown up, really grown up. They're gone now. But we're auxiliary. We used to get the same wage. And we used to go out West Bridgeford in this restaurant, and they used to say, yeah, the 3 twins, one is black. There was no community, Zimbabwe community. I met Madeline, Molife, and so we kept together. We had the birthday parties together, Christmas parties together. We worked hand in hand. It's now because I've got no car when Eric died. The car was sold and I didn't drive. And so it's hard for us to be like this one another now. Josephine in Diweni. And who else? Uncle Patrick. What is it?
I don't know.
Patrick. Yeah, there were just few. And we used to meet. Maybe Christmas or New Year. The first job when I came, it was a cleaner. And that man who took me to cleaning office, he was a management office in nursing. I don't know why. I think he didn't like. He looked down upon me. I went West Bridgeford. I got a job with social services, and I went to this home. I worked a long day, just feeling dry. And then I thought, now when I left Zimbabwe, I was a social worker looking after children in need. And now these, they say they're children in need. They're sitting with their feet here on the table, asking for a fag from the staff. And the staff will take out the fag and give them. I say, I'll go to prison here. I thought I'll go to prison. I can't be. And they call you by your first name. Where I was, it was all ma'am. Ma'am Brown, ma'am so-and-so. Can I please? There was ma'am, please was there. Thank you was there. Because we taught them like how our parents taught us. And we used to go for talks, training, how to handle people. And it was the white people teaching us there in Zimbabwe. But when I came, I look at them here, I thought I'll go to prison here. I left. I didn't even tell them I'm not coming back. When my husband came to pick me up at 5, I said, I'm not coming back. He said, what is your next shift? I said, no, I'm not coming back. I'll be arrested because I'll tell them off. Respect. I was shocked because in my culture there is no such. In fact, there was no such thing to say it's my culture in Africa. All the white children we looked after, they were together, black and white, yellow, they were together. But it was nothing what I've seen here. They had manners. So I said to my husband, when I got home that night, I said, but that's how you people bring your kids. And then when you come over there to us, you're teaching us the Bible, respect your parents, respect your elderly. What is happening here? I said, I'll go to jail. The other thing again, which shocked me, it was back home, you could see a child. You see, maybe there's apple in that yard hanging outside, and the child passes here, break it and break. You tell him, hey, stop it. Stop it. Don't do that. If you want, go ask inside. But now the kids here, they'll tell you, what? They say, and they'll challenge you by the gate. I got worried raising the kids in this country because I had to be like this. There was no breathing. And the time when we came, there were those cars, they used to call them the white vans. They were picking up the kids, abducting the kiddies. So it was hard. You had to have eyes here and eyes at the back to say, where are they? What time is it? Or you go by the bus stop, wait for them from school. And you were also worried that there'll be copycat copying other kids how to answer you. The changes I've seen since I came in this country, the respect is going on the young ones. The respect is going. I can't now to say, Thomas, go get me some milk. He'll tell me, go fetch it yourself. I've been to Zimbabwe since I came back many, many a times. A lot of a change. There's a lot of a change in Zimbabwe. Things are expensive. There was time where you couldn't get salt, sugar. It wasn't war. The war was over. There was no rationing But things were not there. But you could hear in some districts, they've got that, they've got this. People used to catch the buses, go away, go away. It wouldn't work for me to go to Zimbabwe and not to go live there. I've got nobody there. I've got my 2 girls here. So, as it is, I'm getting on, and I. So who's going to look after me in Zimbabwe? Nobody. Here I can go and say, go to social services. Medicines, I paid my stamp when I was working. I go to the clinic, I see the doctor, I order my medicines. If I go back there, where am I going to get it from? Thingy. Paracetamol is $1. It's our home, it's our home. I wish when I get there, I see some relatives, or I said, oh, I'm going back. And you end up crying, though, when you're coming back. I'm leaving. I'll see you maybe next year. You see? It's not that easy. Yes, UK is my home now, because I've got my 2 girls here. They're married here. Unless something happens, I don't know. Something like what?
You win the lottery.
Sorry?
You win the lottery.
Even I win the lottery, I won't go live there. Okay, I can donate to some schools, maybe a little bit, if I win the lottery. I hope for good life in future, happy, have my people around me, like my kids, my friends. Have a home like this, to be free, to have my own place, not to be sleeping here and there. I'm from my uncle, I'm from my cousin, I'm from, aye. Vela go malume.